Feeling good?
Oh, you put that thing on the floor.
So you see how we do it here on Saturday. This is what it's missing. So you see how we do it here on Saturday. This is what it's missing.
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch. Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
People even calling me, asking me about him, and I don't know him from a can of paint. He even mentioned my name, saying that I know what I know. I don't know what he knows, but I do know.
For years, the image was simple. A kid from Brooklyn's Marcy Projects rises to billionaire status and becomes one of the most powerful figures in entertainment. But insiders have often said that reaching that level comes with pressure most people will never understand. Behind the awards, the businesses, and the global fame, some industry observers claim the way to maintaining that image never really goes away. And when stories began circulating online about tension building behind the scenes, fans started looking back at moments that suddenly felt different. But here's the part people keep debating.
It seems to make a lot of people upset, but then a lot of people love my opinion. That's why you bring me on here. And I really appreciate that, brother. I just want to say this before we get started, Art, is that, a lot of people think I came here to bring a black man down. And that's what I hear in the comments a whole lot. But it was nothing like that. A black man didn't cuss a dead man's mother out. A black man didn't set his friends up and put them in a situation where they couldn't come home to their families no more. A black man didn't reach back and help the people that helped them make it up the ladder. It was Puffy. You know what I'm saying? I got tired of Puffy going on different platforms talking about how he loved the people that we was all with, how he loved the people that helped him, when in fact, none of that stuff was true. So my whole thing about it is, man, I appreciate your platform for letting me, voice my opinion. And like I said, opinions like an asshole. Some of these cats out here get paid for their asshole. I get paid to give my opinion.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I mean, yeah, you just on here giving your opinion, man. I mean, you was one of the people that was real close to the situation, so why not?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So with that being said, right, the last interview me and you did was a day after the raid. And when you look at everything now, man, how you feel about everything? It's been like a week, you knowing Diddy, you being around Diddy. Could you ever imagine that his houses would get raided for sex trafficking?
Bro, you can't imagine no stuff like that. You understand? You can't think that, because back then he wasn't Brother Love. He was Puffy. All the way up until he became Diddy. So his behavior.
The conversation exploded again after major headlines surrounding Sean Diddy Combs. Federal raids connected to alleged *XTR at Ficking investigations pushed the music industry into the spotlight, and suddenly people began revisiting decades-old connections between powerful figures. Online commentators began speculating about who knew what and when. To be clear, none of these claims involving other artists have been proven in court, and many remain disputed. But the internet doesn't slow down for uncertainty, and that's where things started getting messy.
Right now, Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died of an imaginary fucking aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list. Who the fuck was these people supposed to go to? You can't go to the boss because the boss is fucking you. And the boss's boss don't get no fuck. Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. Where the fuck you go when you get f***ed over by the industry? Nowhere. That's where you go, nowhere, which is where people like me step in. Right? I go to Diddy parties to walk mother out, cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come.
So let me ask you, because I look at Gabriel Union, and when you mention things like Jay-Z's time is coming for him, then I look at Beyonce, and I say that women do have
that country album, and any of you that buy that shit, stupid as shit.
You don't give it okay.
Trap music with goddamn.
Old rumors from the 1990s resurfaced almost overnight. Some bloggers pointed to stories involving young artists in the hip-hop scene and questioned the culture that existed during that era. Names like Foxy Brown began trending again as people revisited past interviews and industry gossip. Most of those claims remain unverified and heavily debated, but they spread quickly across social media. And when the internet starts digging through history, it rarely stops at one story.
Stand by your man. Don't act like you don't know that. Remake that. Stand by that. That's a real country hit. Jolene, nice. But it has a ring to it. Stand by your man. Yeah. Whoops you and disrespects you with other like Kathy Coriana White.
All right, well, let's do it like
this. Who was actually carrying his baby while you was spanking it. Why your husband don't want to put his seed inside of you? He put it in everybody else? Wild in this world, yo.
It's funny, you open up Beyonce's internet, it just gets weird.
Beyonce's internet.
That's what we're calling
that
it.
That belongs to the devil. Unless you calling that the devil, she ain't nothing but an employee.
Oh.
And half of which dumbass bitch.
So, it's funny that it's crazy you say these things.
Why don't nobody want to accept that bitch bitch?
I think she
went and killed the girl Cats.
Okay.
A girl went to court and charged her with extreme witchcraft. She was hypnotized. She was drugged. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her and shit while she was asleep. Snacking on his bitch. Killing people cats. And guess what? They wouldn't give her a restraining order. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else. Guess what? She's having a hard time finding work too. Which is interesting because she's a brilliant musician. And she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington. Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people.
Another mystery that occasionally appears in online discussions involves a woman named Kathy White. Over the years, various blogs and commentators have alleged connections between her and powerful figures in the industry, though none of those claims have ever been confirmed through official investigations. Some reports suggested her passing raised questions among online communities, While others say the rumors were exaggerated from the beginning, the truth is still unclear. But when speculation meets celebrity, the theories multiply fast.
Why the fuck did that house burn up? Who the fuck goes to their childhood house for a visit and the shit goes up in flames?
That was very weird. The next day, within the week?
The next day.
The next day.
And still, no real investigation on how the house just went up in flames.
Man.
I guess they paid y'all off. Like they paid y'all off for that Astro World.
So let me ask you.
Texas politics.
Yeah, Texas politics, man. It's that right there. We're gonna talk about the episode. But for right now, I just got to get your take on when we see a Killer Mike win 3 Grammys.
And get arrested immediately after because Jay-Z paid somebody up just so he couldn't have a good night. You Sean.
Hey, man.
Weirdo. Don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever. All I do is frustrate your AI. You can't quantify me. You can't even control your wife. You gonna handle a big me. You can't even control that goofy bitch. You should have did a better job. Maybe she wouldn't have had to lose her mind on Kathy. Cause you ain't
And then they're the other half of the world's most famous music power couple. Beyonce has spent decades under a level of scrutiny few artists ever experience. Global tours, billion-dollar brands, and constant cameras watching every move. Some fans believe the pressure of maintaining that level of perfection could test any relationship. Others argue the couple has simply mastered the art of privacy in an industry built on exposure. Either way, when rumors surface around people this famous, the reaction is instant.
More educated because of the talk shows with Oprah that we went through and Dr. Phil and stuff like that. Even Ricky Lake and all of that. We realized that it wasn't so cool messing with the underage young ladies. I never had an attraction for someone young. I always looked and had an attraction for older women, so I probably didn't have that problem. But then everybody that I fucked with did. Everybody. All of them. No names mentioned yet. But I'm going to expose somebody that we all forget about. Y'all see this picture of Jay-Z with Aaliyah when she was underage? Yeah, I forgot about Jay, huh? We only know about Damon Dash messing with Aaliyah and R. Kelly. But that ain't the only one that Jay had when she was underage. Yeah, remember Fox Brown and Jay. Ain't no woman like the one I got. No one could love you better. Before that song came out, we used to hear it. I used to tell shit. I was like, ooh, that shit. Him and Mystical, those were 2 songs that were hot. That it took like a year before it got, well, I'll say to the West Coast. I don't know if they were beating it up on the East Coast. But on the West Coast, it took like a year before those songs came out. And then Nelly's song with the Link St. Louis text. But I'm just saying all that to say, Foxy was young then as well. And so, all of these guys and the underage young ladies was running rapid in the 90s. And so, that's all I remember. That's all I think about, you know, with the DeBarge and Janet Jackson situation. That's all I think about, and I can remember about Aaliyah. Aaliyah was my wife's favorite artist. She loved the hell out of Aaliyah. It was a tragic how she died. You know, trying to rush back to get to Damon Dash on the plane. And what happened is the Bahamians let her fly out and their plane was overloaded or full. That's the one thing that I didn't like about when I traveled to our black countries like the Bahamas and Jamaica and all of them. The officials there, we used to have to bribe them $100 to make the rules pass, to let us in with the dogs that we didn't have properly claimed, or the not search our bags or whatever, or to sneak away with a whole bunch of cigars and stuff like that. But in Mexico, one thing about the motherfucking Mexican authorities, that number used to be 5 G's, 5,000 and stuff like that. And I used to laugh. I was like, damn, black folks is easily bribable. They so cheap. They don't understand the value that they be having. But yeah, that's all I got on Aaliyah, really. It's a talent. That's another person that life was taken too soon. That was a talent. Wonder where she would be now. Her.
Within minutes of any new controversy, social media lights up. Clips circulate. Old interviews resurface. Fans argue across platforms trying to figure out what's real and what's just internet noise. Some defend the legends they grew up listening to. Others say the industry has protected powerful figures for too long. The truth usually lands somewhere in the middle. But by the time anyone sorts it out, millions of people have already formed their own theories.